We pretty much know how the markets are going to react given the past reaction to very robust numbers, but less certainty going forward.
Yeah, that's right. Westpac, the last of the big Australian banks to report this cycle, and it is a similar story to what we've seen. The numbers are basically very good, again, for Westpac. 4 billion Aussie dollars net income. That's about 2.7 billion US dollars. That's up 22%. The dividend coming in line, 70 cents. And the net interest margin, though, that's what everyone's keeping a close eye on right now. That was up 5 basis points to 1.96%. And there's this general agreement now that that's it for net interest margins. They have peaked. Westpac saying that there is intense competition for mortgages, increasingly intense competition for deposits as well. Like other banks, Westpac says it's going to shift attention away from home lending and towards higher margin business lending in the second half.
Exactly. So how challenging is the outlook then for Westpac in the second half?
Yeah, again, like the other banks, Westpac offering some commentary about how much tougher the second half is going to be if it sees the Australian economy slowing. It made note of the 375 basis points of rate rises that we've seen from the Reserve Bank of Australia in the past 12 months as well. So there's a focus now, Westpac says, on how long those rates are going to stay high. It does note that most mortgage customers are ahead on repayments. There's no hint of anything on Australia in terms of what's been going on in the US. Tier 1 capital ratio for Westpac, 12.3%. That was more than expected. It's well over the regulatory requirements as well. So no doubt about how strong Australia's banks are. But again, similar sorts of problems. Looking for cost savings. Westpac's managed to find $1 billion worth of costs to be saved. They brought the income expense ratio down, but the market hasn't really liked the story that Westpac's had to tell so far this year. Shares off more than 8%, while the broader index has gained. So it'll be interesting to see how they do at the open. And as Heidi mentioned, the other big banks are generally suffering a bit after the open, after they've reported results.